All right, Monaco Grand Prix 2020. Here is my Alfa Romeo edition since I've completed it with Red Bull Racing. So let's have another stab at it this time with Alfa Romeo, which of course is probably not ideal for the circuit because, like certain other circuits, like namely the Silverstone, having that higher top speed as its strength really kind of came in handy, I think, because I didn't have to put as many tunings on this car. But this one here at Monaco, where top speed is somewhat irrelevant, this is going to be interesting run through. So we'll see how this goes. This is really going to be pushing my racing skill here. Alright, at least I've gone through this once already, actually twice already. I've done it with, obviously, Red Bull Racing. You guys probably have seen my playthrough. If you haven't done so, check out my channel. It's there. And then I've also gone through it with McLaren. Yes. So this is my third time through with probably the most challenging car in, I would say, the 2020 season, certainly for this circuit, just because of its strength is not, I feel like, ideal for this circuit. We don't have a terribly long straights, and this is about as long of a straight we're gonna get, and even then it's pretty curvy as, for a straight, right? Very narrow straight circuits. So the event itself requires a PR requirement. Speaking of, Fire Monkeys have fixed that moving PR issue, as they call it. So if you've already completed this event, and if you have usage sharing enabled, which I always have to mention that you probably should let that enabled, because that way, when things like this happens, you will receive automatic compensation. So in this case, if you have completed this event prior to this, what they call the moving PR issue, then you would receive 35 gold and 250,000 motorsport dollars for their mistake, basically. Because you would have to spend more in order to complete the event, because this event has a PR requirement, not recommended or suggested, right? So you have to meet the PR requirement, which means you have to get certain number of tunings and or level up your driver and the team principles. So team principle level up and driver level up, of course, costs gold. Tuning costs motorsport dollars. So I will be once again running through using tunings only to meet PR requirement, and for Alfa Romeo, since base PR is lower at 115.6, the PR requirement to complete the event is also lower than, let's say, Mercedes or McLaren. So for this team, it will be 123.4, and now that the moving PR issue has been fixed, that is it. Even when you level up your driver, that 123.4 ain't gonna go up with the level up or leveling up of your driver, so that's a good thing. And in terms of tuning issue, my team principal for Alfa Romeo, we'll see it soon enough. I still have more than 3,600 team principal XP to go before I max him out. So basically, I won't be wasting any of the team principal XP that I'll be gaining to meet the PR requirement in this event, but it'll get me pretty darn close to the 9,000 cap. So that's what I'm going for here. So after completing this event, I should be pretty close to maxing out team principal, which of course gives me the double service bar duration. And then also I will be able to switch between tuning setups, like from Monaco setup to Silverstone setup to the Spa setup, without having to wait or having to pay for the tuning setup changes. So that is kind of nice, you know. So that should help with speeding up the process of leveling up the driver or gaining more driver XP, which would help me unlock the invitational. Right. For that, I would need to have Kimi Räikkönen in this case reach the 100,000 driver XP is what's needed to level all the way up to the max level, the driver level. So for driver level, let's see, yes, you need 100,000 XP, and for team principal level, you need 9,000 team principal XP to max out. And the cost-wise, I know I'm talking about something not necessarily related to this particular race that we're looking at here, because, you know, stage 1 is, you know, really a stage to get you familiar with the circuit. It's not really designed to fail you. So, you know, as long as you go through and, you know, hitting top speed like this one shouldn't be that big of a challenge. As you can see, I've already, you know, met the requirement. I just need to bring it back home now, right? So stage 1, pretty straightforward. So let's talk about other relevant information that you might need to be aware before you get started if you're still kind of waiting on the sideline for this event, which may not be a bad thing considering that the whole PR gate issue. And, you know, if you're more on the side of, you know, I do not wish to be a beta tester for this game, then hey, more power to you. That means when you hop in, you have most of these issues ironed out, and you also get to check out what other people have done, like myself here. You know, what challenge might get a little tricky, how much you should be spending, and things like that. So you don't get caught in the middle of the event where you find yourself running out of resources to continue on, you know. So anyway, back to the topic that I was talking about, the driver level. To max out, which is level 8 for driver, you need 100,000 driver XP, and you also need to spend some 774 gold to max out the driver, to essentially access the invitational for each team, which is a lot of resources. So if you're thinking like last season, like last year, if you want to unlock all 10 invitational series last year, all you needed to do was motorsport dollars to max out the cars upgrades. This year, if you want to unlock all 10 team invitational, that's going to cost you like 7,000 gold. Yikes. I don't think they expect you to do all of it. That's a lot to... I mean, I'm not even counting the amount of time and races it takes to gain 100,000 driver XP. That's kind of an absurd, like, number of races that you'll have to do to do just that. Obviously, you can train the driver with the motorsport dollars, which might not be a bad idea because I feel like to train from level 0 or level 1 to level 8 actually costs you only 1,439,000 motorsport dollars. So compare that to how many races and time that you have to spend to get your driver up to gain 100,000 driver XP. Yeah, that is, yeah. I think 1.4 million motorsport dollars takes a lot less time to accumulate than 100,000 driver XP. But well, I'm going to try to level my driver here, level up, and instead of using the motorsport dollars to train him. So and I'm doing okay here because obviously this is the third Grand Prix event I am running here with the same racer, Kimi Räikkönen, and not to mention the daily grinding, the Formula One grinding that I've been doing to max out the 250,000 motorsport dollars per day cap. So that's where I am with this account. So, but yeah, 774 gold to level up to max out the driver. That's the cost of entry for Invitational. So that's gonna be painful. Anyway, so that's the driver side. Team principal side, you need, as I said, 9,000 team principal XP, and there is no way to, if you will, train the team principal with the motorsport dollars, so that you can only get through buying the tunings during the event or after the event as well now. And also, obviously, you gain 25 team principal XP each time you install tuning setup. So if you go from Monaco tuning setup and switch over to Silverstone tuning setup, then that's going to cost you, what, 15,000 motorsport dollars, right? And it takes like 15 minutes. But then your team principal gains 25 XP from that. So that is a lot of switching back and forth if you have like 1,000 XP to gain, yeah, that is a lot of switching back and forth to, make up all the deficit in team principal XP. And at the moment, there is no other way to speed that up. So that's what you gotta do. So my recommendation is try to concentrate on a single team principal to max out first, and make sure when you're starting these events with the required PR that you pick a team with a team principal who's got essentially 3,600 XP gap before maxing out, right? So that way you don't waste any of the tuning setups that you install during the event, which you have to do, and all the XP the team principal gains you don't want it to go to waste. That's the quickest way to level up your team principal is through these special events. So yeah, so that's something that you want to keep in mind. And let's see, max out 9,000 is what you need XP, team principal XP, and the cost of upgrading your team principal total gold cost is 433 gold, which is not cheap, but at least it's better than the driver, right? And of course, with that, you do have some perks, like you're able to race more you got double service bars, right? And you're able to switch back and forth between tuning setups without any wait time, that's nice. But let's see, and the maxing out driver allows you the essentially infinite time trial drives, right? So the team principal does not get you that, unfortunately. Anyway, while I'm yapping through this video here, we are at the final goal of stage 1, which of course is gonna be the one with the MP44 McLaren. Right, on my other account, my car was already maxed out, so that was kind of a breeze to go through. On this account, I don't own this car, and I've never really done anything on this account with this car, so it's essentially running stock, no upgrades whatsoever. And yes, this car is the legacy car in the game, so it doesn't go with the tuning setup business. So it's purely upgrades that you spend racing dollars, not motorsport dollars, right? Anyway, so I'm running stock here against the 2019 Academy car, the Dim Mak, right? Against apparently a Brazilian DJ, Richie. So lap 1, I am chasing after my opponent here. 2 laps to do this, and this one you actually have to win. And this car, MP44 here at Monaco, without any upgrades, can be a little tricky. This car is not easy to drive. The old, like the non-motorsport dollar Formula 1 cars in the game are tricky. They're not easy. So, here we go, just chasing after my opponent, and I will have to make my move at some point and overtake. And it's not gonna be here. I'll have to be a little bit more patient, and it's gonna have to happen. Probably the best spot is gonna be just down the straight here, right? And then make sure I don't mess up the first corner. There we go. Alright. And the Monaco, just because there's so many, like, in chase view, a lot of blind corners. So, this event, I will play through using primarily the not cockpit view, but sort of what would be considered the hood view. Of course, it's Formula 1. Where's the hood, right? So that's the sort of, this is cockpit view in MP44, but yeah, so I'll be using the other sort of like overhead camera view, right? Because I think that's the easiest racing mode in this circuit. So anyway, got the lead. Just need to now make it through the couple of last corners here, and then just bring it on home. Right. So here we go. Got a nice lead, not too far, not too close. There we go. All right, so here we go. Yet another run through of the Monaco Grand Prix. I have to admit, this event was a lot of fun. I did enjoy the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. It's tough, but you know, doable, and it does make you feel like you're actually driving, you know, which is significant. I think that's obviously, like, all the corners, you can almost feel the G-force. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. Anyway, 20,000 motorsport dollars for completing stage 1, and another 5 gold is the reward here. Of course, there's 50 gold total and 200,000 motorsport dollars total rewards available. So anyway, that'll do it for stage 1. We'll pick up on stage 2 in the next video, so stay tuned and we'll see you guys there.